So my 8-year-old daughter just approached me to educate me on something she had just learned. She was watching a show about cats and had learned the story about the Black Plague, which was caused by fleas that were on black rats at the time. However, the Catholic Church misinformed everyone because they believed that black cats were evil. After the Catholic Church misinformed everyone, they started getting rid of black cats. Because of that, the rat population grew and the Black Plague ran rampant. So this got me thinking about misinformation in general. And somehow in my ADHD brain, I skipped right over to the topic of marriage. I just started thinking to myself how interesting that men were able to package marriage as something women want, and that men don't. Looking back through history, of course a woman was excited whenever a man wanted to marry her, since she was bound financially to whatever a man was able to bring in. Women didn't typically work, they were not encouraged to go to college, they couldn't own property or have their own credit cards or bank accounts, and so of course finding the right suitor would be something that you would celebrate, I suppose. I personally would have chosen to be a spinster, but that's neither here nor there. So fast forward to today, and I see one article after another about how disappointing the dating scene is for cis-het men. Basically, at this point, I just imagine Tinder has a shit ton of men on there just waiting for women to pop up, and they never show. Because to be real honest with you, men benefit greater from marriage than women. You heard that right. Women are seeking men for a partnership, whereas traditionally men were seeking out women as caretakers, not necessarily for partnership. And now all I see are cis-het men crying about, why aren't there more women that make us lunches and rub our backs? Because men nowadays don't know how to be partners. Spare me with the not all men, we understand that, as long as you do too. I just find it so funny that now everyone is so surprised that not all women want to get married. Why would they? Women have been undervalued and underappreciated for fucking centuries. And then you've got the men over here saying, if things were just back to how they used to be. You know, the good old days. And usually they're referring to the 1950s housewife. They'll even try to tell you that women were happy and fulfilled then. In 1952, they had seen 50,000 patients, the majority female, and they had been lobotomized. And millions of women were prescribed barbiturates for anxiety and depression. So the fact that so many men want to spread misinformation regarding marriage, how there are just no more good women out there, yada yada, and their inability to self-reflect, and how easily other men that are disappointed about the dating scene soak in this information from these Tates of the world. You know, these tiny balding men with a complex. It's honestly fucking sad. We live in a patriarchal society. Y'all are literally doing this to yourselves. I mean, this is something that's easily fixable, right? With minimal effort. Guys, make some fucking effort instead of wasting time making videos whining about how you're not getting what you want.